Hello guys, welcome to Malik 034 channel. This is your Malik Arjun. So in this today's session, I'm going to explain you, one of the prerequisites for most of the rack installation or rack configuration or Exadata installation or Exadata configuration. So whenever you are start working in the rack environment, one of the common feature is passwordless connection between the cluster nodes. Either it may be grid user or Oracle user or whatever your rack database user or the cluster ware user. So that user should have a passwordless connection between the cluster node. For example, if we have a 2 node rack or 3 node rack or 4 node rack, so whatever your grid user or whatever your Oracle user, so that user should have a passwordless authentication to the cluster nodes. For example, if you log into node 1 with the grid user or Oracle user, so it's simply allowed to log in other cluster node like node 2, 3, 4 without password. So this is one of the prerequisites for you have to set up before you proceed with the clusterware installation or grid software installation or database Oracle home installation or rack Oracle home installation. So this is one of the common prerequisites one has to understand. So if you compare with the Exadata box or normal RDBMS box, the rack installation or rack configuration is going to be same. But what is the difference? What is the difference in establishing this SSH uh, authentication, SSH passwordless SSH authentication for the grid user or Oracle user? So I have explained both Exadata and non-Exadata in simple 5 steps. If you see my screen here, first one is create a particular OS user, either a grid or Oracle, whichever your design as per your design. And then once you create, you have to create one DBS group. DBS group is a file, text file. You have to create one text file with all your cluster nodes. If you have 2 cluster nodes, you have to mention 2. If you have 3 cluster nodes, you have to mention 3 cluster nodes. So whatever the cluster nodes, you have to mention. This is applicable only for Exadata. Non-Exadata, you just skip this one. Step number 2. Then step number 3, verify whether you have public. It's okay, public. Let me correct. Public key, that is id underscore rsa dot pub, is exist under your individual home, whichever user it is, grid or Oracle. Under that Oracle home, it means under that home directory of that user. If it's a grid, it's a home slash grid. If it's Oracle, home slash Oracle. Under .ssh directory. Under this directory, make sure whether you have this id rsa pub. This is the public key. So it is available or not. If it is available, then you can, if this is available, then directly move to step number 5. And if it is not available, then you have to proceed with the step number 4. That is basically you are going to create that id rsa.pub, that is public key. You are going to create it. So then once you create that public key in Exadata, you pass that public key to other cluster nodes. If it is like automated, because you are passing this DBS group. DBS group is what you are mentioning all the cluster nodes from the step number 2. So if you use this DCLI command, it is like automated distributed command line. So it will automatically set up configuration for all the cluster nodes. If you are going through non-Exadata, you manually copy content of that id RSA public key and then insert into this authorized key for all the cluster nodes. So similarly, you have to repeat the same step for the other cluster nodes. Like that, non-Exadata SSH passwordless SSH authentication will be established. And by doing this DCLI, this automated kind of script, it will take care of all the cluster node in one shot. But here you have to do it repeatedly for all cluster nodes. And then final step is verification. Being at the node 1, being from the node 1, you try to log into node 2, it will log in without the password. And being from node 2, try to log into node 1, it will log in without the password. And then for the more detail, this is a Oracle MOS document you can refer. So it has a clear and more description wise, and it has ease of understanding. So you just refer this document. So I quickly go through demo and then I will show you. I have two cluster nodes. I'm trying to install the grid software, and then I already have grid user created, ID grid. So my user is a grid and primary group, and then the secondary group. Everything is already set, and this is React node 1 and this is React node 2. And React Node 2 also I will check it my grid user again the ID grid GID primary group secondary group everything is ready. So two cluster nodes, one is React 1 and other one is React 2. So give me a second. So host name I might change it. All right, I logged into Rack 02, Rack 2 server. Earlier I logged into the same server. So fine. So if you can see Rack 1 and Rack 2, both the servers are ready now. Both users are ready. If I say host name of this server, it's a Rack 2, and similarly host name of this server is okay. Let's quickly check if config. If config if I do, it will be like 192.168.8.101 ifconfig root user ifconfig. This is of 192.168.8.112. It is 101 and 102. This is I made a color change also for ease of understanding. So let's log into grid user. Okay, both the grid users I logged in. As per the demo steps, one is user creation. I already did my user creation, and then for it is applicable only for Exadata. So if you are having Exadata, create one text file with all the cluster nodes, node 1, node 2, node 3, node 4, like that, and go inside your home directory and then .ssh, right? So I am under my home directory, so I'll check with ssh. So I don't have any ssh directory here. So similarly I will check for this one. Here also I don't have any ssh directory. So just to create ssh directory, what you do, you just try to log into any of the other nodes. This is one of the easiest method. Okay, so if you don't find that ssh.sh folder, what you need to try to log into any one server, any server, it will automatically create. See now here I am trying to log into Rack 2, but it is asking for the password. So you need to enter the password. So I'm not going to enter the password. Or else if you try entering the password, what happens? So if you try to enter password, it will go to Rack 2 now. So earlier it was Rack 1 and it entered into Rack 2. So I'll just exit. Similarly, from node 2, I'll try to do SSH rack 1. Here also it will ask for the password, and if you give password, see rack 1. So earlier it was in rack 2 and it went to rack 2 with password. I'll just exit now. So again I am back to rack 2. Here I am back to rack 1. So what I'll do now, you can see the password SSH, the password file. See now the password file will be created. So if you go to other nodes, the password file will be created. If you try to connect to any one server first time, then it will create automatically. If not, you can create manually. So just go inside the SSH folder and check for that IDRSA pub.ssh. So there is no IDRSA pub here. So as per this step, go inside that home directory and then .ssh, and if you don't find this IDRSA pub, and then generate the ID public key. So this is a command ssh keygen -t rsa. So I'm going to do it on both the nodes. Okay, if you want to save that file, or if you want to give some any name, you can give it, or else go with the default. So if you want to enter any keyword or passphrase for remember purpose, or if you want to go with the default, just click enter. And then similarly, if you want to enter the same passphrase, whatever for the security reason, if you give some passphrase keyword and same passphrase you can give here, or else go with the default. And now check, you can see IDRSA public key is created here. Similarly, so I will generate the public key and the node 2. I'll just give enter, and passphrase I'll just give enter, and just verify here. So IDRSA public key is created. So then once the key is ready, uh, there are two steps here, for one for Exadata and one for non-Exadata. For Exadata, you have to run this DCLI single command, and if once the moment you run it, it will ask for the, okay, this user I need to change it here. It should be grid. This is actually old entry I copied here. So once you enter the grid, once you enter for that particular user, once you enter this DCLI distributed command line interface, If you run this command, it will ask for the all the cluster node 1, node 2, node 3. It will ask for the password, and then you have to enter the password. Once you enter the password, automatically the SSH key will be added. It's like kind of automation. It will automatically add the key on all the cluster nodes. If you are using a non-exadata, so manually copy the content of the file and add into authorized keys under all the cluster nodes. So where is this authorized keys? So authorized key will be under same under that .ssh directory. So here you don't have any authorized key. So just create one authorized key. I'm just creating one empty file here, and node 1 also I'm just creating an empty file. So now if you see authorized key I created with the empty file. So what I'll do, I will just copy this. Okay, this is the public key. I'll just copy this one from the node 1. I'll add into this authorized key in the node 2. Okay, similarly I will cat that ID as a public key from node 2. I'll add it in the node 1 authorized key. Okay, so fine. For node 1 public key I added in the node 2's authorized file, and node 2's public key I added in the node 1 authorized key. If you see, authorized key will be having some content now. Authorized key will be having some content. So what I'll do, from the rack 1 I'll try to connect to rack 2. Now you can see here, from rack 1 immediately it connected to rack 2 without any password. So this is called passwordless authentication. Similarly, from rack 2 I'll try to connect to rack 1. From see rack 2 it went to rack 1. If you see host name, it will be rack 1, right? So if you see host name here, it's a rack 2. So earlier what happens, when you try to connect, it used to ask for the password. Now it is not asking the password. This is called passwordless authentication. So this is one of the prerequisites you need to do it before you proceed with the grid infrastructure installation or rack Oracle home installation. So guys, this is very helpful information, I hope. So if you have any comments or concerns, please try to reach out to me on my social media apps like LinkedIn, WhatsApp, YouTube, and follow my blog, and please do subscribe my YouTube.